Alright, this is to replace a TPS sensor on a 1988 Jeep Cherokee, or XJ as people call them. It's kind of bucking while it's driving. It's got some weird idle things going on, and that's usually this TPS. That's this piece right here. So to take it off, it's just 2 Torx. Let's see what size it is. It's a T20 Torx. So we just take those 2 off and it'll come. Alright, so we took those 2 off, and then you're going to have 2 electrical connectors. There's like a 4-pin. This one's on there pretty good. And then there's this one. So now I like to clean up in this area while you have it off, so we'll clean all that up. Alright, so we got our new one. We've had a couple from AutoZone, but they seem to be having problems, so we bought a new one from Amazon, hoping it works a little better. And I think we paid about 50 bucks. So what you got to do is you got to line up these 2 screws here. You'll have this little flapper. You need to get that underneath. Let's see. You got to get that underneath this piece right here. Alright, so we got the new one back on there, and we got this knob here, and when you move your throttle, that's what moves it. So we just plug these connectors back in. Now if you have 91 or newer, you're done. But on an 88, this whole thing I left loose, and you got to rotate it a little bit, and with a multimeter you tune it. So what I do is I set up my multimeter, and I usually always check something I know to make sure it's working right. So I check battery voltage here. That's 12 volts, so I know that's good. So now you have to put the key in the on position, but don't start it. Alright, so the next step is you have to put your test leads, the positive in port A in this 4-port connector, the square one, and it'll be marked. What I did is I just put some quick connects on the wire itself, because I have to change this thing quite a bit in this Jeep. And then you put the negative in port D, and you take the reading with the ignition on, and you should get around 5 volts. And I have 4.67. Alright, so now that you check that and you know your number, which mine was 4.62, and here's the example. Now you move your positive lead from A to B, and then you got to set this output voltage to 82% of the first reading, which was my 4.72. So I need to set this reading to be about 3.87. So what you do here is I'm at 3.9. Alright, so right when I was about ready to complete that video, the damn battery died on me, so I'm gonna just have to talk you through the rest. It's pretty much done on that video, but all you gotta do is when you get your multimeter leads in there, you still have that sensor loose, so just kind of adjust it to 82% of your first number. And then once you get to 82% of your first number there, tighten up those 2 bolts. I like to keep the multimeter leads in there while I tighten up those bolts, just to make sure that I don't bump it or move it or whatever and get off of, get the number off. So just bolt that on there, and then fire it up, and your problem should be gone.